So, here we are once again talking about a full moon, and there are people who believe that humans act strangely under the light of a full moon. Is that true? And from your experience as a person or in your profession, do you notice that people act strangely during a full moon? That behavior changes? One of the reasons that people become, and this is based on the word lunar, lunatics. One of the reasons that people allegedly become lunatics during a full moon is because long before there was lighting, before there was electricity, when there was a full moon, the world stayed lit more at night. So people were more adventurous. People would go out, they would stay up later, they would drink, and instead of going to sleep, they would drink and they would stay up. So that's one of the early signs that the full moon had this impact on people. But it wasn't the moon itself. It was the fact that it was just more light than in the past. So we'll get into that a little bit later. Is the city of New Orleans cracking down on strip clubs in the French Quarter in order to bring about a more wholesome atmosphere for the quarter? Many strippers in the city say that the city is unfairly suspending liquor licenses, which is closing some clubs, their place of employment, causing them to shut down. And it's unfair because they're really not doing anything wrong. They say they're like something, for example, like adjusting their song. Now, I have never been the recipient of illegal activity at a club that I can think of. Let me think for a minute. Well, I'm not sure that was illegal. And anyway, but I've never experienced drugs. I don't go often, but I'll be honest with you, I go sometimes, occasionally. And so I speak from some firsthand experience. The clubs that I go to have been pretty much nicer clubs, and I haven't seen anything wrong. So it seems like maybe there's this attempt to shut some of the clubs down. And is that right? Now, if the clubs are breaking the law, then they need to follow the law, or the law needs to be changed. I also think that, one of the big political things going on now is doing something about human trafficking. And something should be done, because that is a horrible, horrible activity. Next hour, we'll talk more about that. I'm not sure that closing down these strip clubs is going to help human trafficking. And that was one of the big arguments in raising the minimum age for strippers from 18 to 21. But the average age of somebody who's involved in human trafficking is 14. Also, in another effort to cut down on human trafficking, there's a new bill introduced in the state of Virginia that would lock all porn sites from phones and computers unless you pay a $20 fee to the state. Now, if the porn is legal, should there be this new tax on viewing porn? And do you think this would cut down on sex trafficking and the problems that some think are directly related to porn? We'll talk about that coming up. First up on the show, the accomplishments of President Donald J. Trump. Now, the definition of accomplishment is to fulfill a goal or to complete a task. The definition of accomplish does not include the judgment of whether something is good or bad. Some people I guess their goal would be to commit a crime. So if they commit the crime successfully, they have accomplished their goal. That was an accomplishment for them. But that's not a good thing that they have accomplished. So that's the way it is with accomplishments. Now, on this show, the president gives us so much material to talk about every day that I really can't avoid talking about some of it, because some of it's just such a great distraction. It's so much fun. We get more distractions from this president than any president in modern history. But in fairness, I want to talk about President Trump's accomplishments as he prepares for a State of the Union address tonight. What has President Trump done that he deserves positive credit for doing? And I want you to help me with this. Our number is 260-1870. Area code 504. 260-1870. Text number is 870-870. The stock market has been soaring. I mean, I think it was down a little bit earlier today, but the stock market has been doing really well. Now, the gains in the stock market started under the Obama administration. And President Trump inherited a better economy than President Obama inherited. But let's give President Trump credit, because I'm going to refer you back to two articles. This one from the New York Times, and this was published October 31st, 2016. So this was right before the presidential election. And the article is titled, "What Happens to the Markets if Donald Trump Wins?" And this article says, assume for a moment that Donald J. Trump wins the presidency. Some readers of this column will shudder at the thought and might even stop reading now. Others in the business world will learn. And the first sentence of the first paragraph is, the conventional wisdom is that right off the bat, the stock market will fall precipitously if Trump wins. Here's an article from money.cnn.com. This is from CNN Money. And the article is entitled, "A Trump Win Would Sink Stocks." And then Clinton, question mark. This was published October 24th, 2016. Again, right before the election. And here's the first sentence. If Donald Trump wins the election, U.S. stocks, and likely many other markets overseas, will almost certainly tank. Okay, that didn't happen. So, President Trump, it may be part of what he didn't do, and part of what he did, but the president deserves credit for the stock market being good. Not all the credit, but in fairness, I think President Trump deserves credit for the stock market being up. If the stock market were down, the very people who say, well, it's not him, they would be blaming him for that. You know, and here we get back to the hypocrisy of politics. If you like the politician, you give the politician credit for the stock market. If you don't, you say, well, it's not really him. And if the stock market is down and you like the politician, well, it's not the politician's fault. It's not the president's fault. It's everybody else's fault. So what else has President Trump done that is positive? What does he deserve positive credit for having done after 1 year in office? If you want to join us with a comment this afternoon, our number is 260-1870. Area code 504-260-1870. Text number 870-870. I just wanted to take a little time as the President prepares for his State of the Union address tonight to talk about some of the positive things President Trump has accomplished, and some of the President's accomplishments which not everybody believes are positive. For example, we got out of some trade agreements. One side says, these are great accomplishments. The other side said, they're accomplishments, but they're not good. If you got a comment, our number is 260-1870. Text 870-870 on Scoot, and we'll be back on WWL.
To know about accidents, traffic jams, and road repairs. Sign up now for WWL Traffic Alerts. Text TRAFFIC to 870-870. And if you have a traffic tip, call 260-INFO, 260-4636. Message and data rates apply.
Coming up out of this break, a special song that really every American is singing to the president right now. It's coming right out of this break. We're getting very close to Mardi Gras, and earlier today, the city of New Orleans met with law enforcement and talked about some of the safety features, which is